You're listening to the Health and Happiness Podcast with Travis Kemper and
Lauren Maxwell. Each episode, we share easy to implement strategies to improve your health, happiness, and overall quality of life. A comfort zone is a beautiful place, but nothing ever grows there. John Assaraf. How's it going, Travis?
Well, it snowed a little here. Last night, I don't know. It snowed a little here. I'm putting down more flooring today and working on my business website and stuff. And yeah, not much has changed in the last, 3 days
I
since
know.
I talked to you?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. How's it going?
Well, not much is going on for me either since I talked to you on Sunday. We watched the X Games last weekend, which was really fun.
Cool.
I love watching the X Games. They had some insane tricks that they did. Anyway, speaking of X Games and winter sports, we're going snowboarding again this weekend.
All right. You getting
Yeah.
your back flip?
Yep.
It'll be more like a back roll.
I will
back tumble.
I will probably flip on my back. Yes,
Yeah.
back flip. But yeah, our friends are coming up this weekend, and we're all going to go snowboarding together. Well, I guess one of them skis, so we're all going to hit the mountain together. It'll be fun.
Awesome.
Yeah. So what are we going to talk about today?
Lauren, stepping out of your comfort zone can be scary and stressful. So why should we do it at all?
Great question, Travis. Well, research studies support the ideation that when you embrace stretching outside the bounds of your comfort, growth happens. Some specific benefits of stepping outside your comfort zone include an opportunity to grow and discover a sense of yourself. Be more productive, exercise your mind, become more adaptable, increase your confidence, increase your creativity, and it builds trust in yourself.
In 2019, researchers found that they could cultivate a growth mindset in schools. A short online growth mindset intervention, which teaches that intellectual abilities can be developed, improved grades among lower achieving students, and increased overall enrollment to advanced mathematics courses. This is meaningful because the rigor of mathematics courses in high school strongly predicts later educational attainment, and educational attainment is one of the leading predictors in longevity and health.
Whoa, that's awesome.
Yes. So specifically, the interventions were aimed at the following beliefs. They were aimed at the negative effort belief of students, which is the belief that having to try hard or ask questions means that you lack ability. The fixed trait attributions belief, which is believing that failure stems from low ability, and the performance avoidance goals, which is the goal of never looking stupid.
Yeah, speaking of performance avoidance goals, when you're learning something new, you're likely not going to be good at it. And if you have that fear of looking stupid, like we talked about in dancing, you might not do it. But there are a lot of benefits of learning new things, which we've talked about before on the podcast, including improving brain function. When you learn something new, you are exercising your brain, which can help improve cognitive functions such as concentration, attention to detail, memory, recall, and problem solving. And it can also reduce the chance of developing dementia. When you're learning new things, you also get to meet new people. Taking up a new hobby or sport or going to a class to learn something new is a great way to meet new people. Not only will you learn something, but you'll also spend time with other people who have similar interests and potentially make new friends. I think that was one of the recommendations that we gave for making new friends way back in episode 2 or 3 or whatever the friendship episode was, which is probably still one of my favorite episodes.
Yep.
You can become more involved in your community depending on what you learn. You may develop a sense of feeling more connected with your community. You feel good about your new skill. Setting a goal to learn something new and then achieving it is super rewarding and gives you a sense of accomplishment and fulfillment. It also lets you have fun. Most people won't be great at something they haven't tried before when they first start, but it can be really enjoyable to be pushed out of your comfort zone when you try something new.
Yeah, the brain reacts to learning in some really fascinating ways. Yale did a study on monkeys. where the monkeys were presented with a task where the outcomes were either constant or fluctuating. Fundamental brain differences were noted in the monkeys depending on the condition. The activity in areas of the frontal cortex were dramatically reduced when outcome probabilities were fixed and the animal was more certain of the outcome. So if they were in their comfort zone, they had less brain activity, which makes sense.
Yeah, that's super interesting. So, how do we start with getting uncomfortable? Getting out of your comfort zone doesn't necessarily have to be a huge undertaking, although sometimes I feel like it can feel like it. But it can be simple moments in making a slightly different choice than you routinely would. It could be something as simple as saying hi to the person next to you in class, downloading a free app to begin to learn Spanish, signing up with a friend for your first tap dancing class, or visiting a new local restaurant. The connection between defining the right pace and identifying support is key to stretching into a new zone of comfort.
In order to maximize performance, we need to be in a space of optimal anxiety. Call it the Goldilocks zone. You're not too comfortable, but you're not too uncomfortable to where you're definitely going to fail at each part of it. And that's where I train people for balance, exercise, everything. I want you to fail, but I want you to only fail part of the time. Yeah. Because if you're failing the whole time, you're not going to stick with it and you're not going to get anything out of it. But if you're failing 0% of the time, you're not getting anything out of it because it's too easy.
Right.
To reach new goals, make tiny daily steps. Eleanor Roosevelt once said, do one thing every day that scares you. That's a good motto.
That's a great motto.
To conclude, the more out of our comfort zone we are, the more we succeed and the more we learn. The more we learn and succeed, the more fulfilled and happy we become.
So let's go get uncomfortable.
Thanks, everyone. And leave us a review if you have not yet. Lauren, great job today.
Great job, Travis. You're awesome.
And we will see you next week for another episode. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you for taking the time out of your busy day to listen to this episode of the Health and Happiness Podcast. We hope you enjoyed the episode and are getting benefits from our content.
If your life is improving in part due to the information in this podcast, we would greatly appreciate you sharing the episode with your family and friends on social media and leaving us a review so we can continue to reach more people and improve the health and happiness of the community at large.
Thanks again, and we will see you next week for another episode of the Health and Happiness Podcast.